So, what's in my makeup bag? Spring 2020. Let's get cracking, shall we? Because this view is quite honestly a mess and I want to close in on my face. We're going to take it all off and start again, and I'll show you what's in my bag and what I do with it. Oh, just in case you're bored already and you're about to click off, just do me a favour. Can you just hit the like before you do that? That would be great. Thank you. Everyone else carry on watching. Let's see what I did. Okay, let's get started with the base. Now I have been using Glow Cherie. Where is it? Underneath my makeup, but I can't find it. So we'll just go straight in with the foundation. This one is going to have a standalone review on my website because I have toed and froed about whether I like this or not for so long, and I finally made my mind up. I do like it, but it slides in the centre of my face. So I have to just powder it slightly. It's the Clarins Everlasting Youth. I can kind of put up with the slidiness because the finish is so fresh and beautiful. I'm using shade 110 or 110. It's very fresh and glowy, nice, and it's just very nourishing in feel if you've got dry skin. If you have oily skin, it's not going to be the one for you. All right, I'm just going to put that out there. Now, I'm going to finish off my skin with some bronzer. I'm going to do my concealer last. And I would really like to use the Chanel Healthy Glow Bronzing Cream, which I did an IGTV on, which I will link to. However, it's quite difficult to get your hands on that, and I did mention in the IGTV, it's not a dupe at all. It's an alternative if your budget can't stretch to the Chanel, which is probably most people, and if you just want something that has the same kind of effect. So this is Bonjour Sunshine, it's from L'Oreal, and it's a cream tanned skin embellisher. It's the same kind of tone as the Chanel. It's like a warm, well, quite orangey, I suppose. It doesn't have the same texture. This is a cream, it's liquid. Whereas the Chanel one is a sort of gel cream that feels pretty much like a powder once you apply it in terms of finish and stay. However, hold on, get a bigger brush. You use this one in the same kind of way, so just tapping it on and then buffing it in. It's not as foolproof, but you get a nice glow, a nice sheeny glow. If the Chanel is the right kind of shade for you, it's supposed to be universal. It's not universal. It's only universal if you have fair to probably medium skin, and any darker than that, then it's not really going to do a lot for you. They need to add at least one more shade, and again, the L'Oreal is in just one shade. However, if the Chanel is the right shade for you, but you can't get hold of it, or it's too expensive, then this, as an alternative, takes a little bit more work, but I think that the creaminess of it gives a really, really nice glow. And once it's buffed in, it sets in place, and you can either leave it like that or you can use bronzer over the top. Where is my bronzer? I'm going to add bronzer over the top because that is what I've been doing on days that I can be bothered. So this one is the Becca Sunlit bronzer in Capri Coast. And I'm really just doing the lightest bit of dusting of that. So I have been going for a bit more of a bronzed look, mainly because the weather has been so good. Past couple of days not so much, but in general it's been really, really nice, and so I've been outside loads, but I do wear high factor sunscreen and I normally wear a hat, so my body tends to, I wear sunscreen on my body as well, but it just tans through it. So my face always looks quite a lot paler than the rest of my body. And so I've been going for a bit more of a bronzy look. I did an IGTV on this as well, which is such a beautiful cream bronzer blush. This is the Lumine, and it's the Nordic Glow palette. And this blush, which I think is called Fresh Blossom, Pink Blossom, just really adds a bit of life to the skin look. Really into, go through phases where I forget about blush and it's just laziness, so I don't put it on, but it is so sort of freshening and youthful that every time I rediscover it, which is normally in spring, because that's when you go, oh, I'm going to pop a pink on, I think, why the bloody hell haven't I been using that every single day? So that's the Lumine one. If that is not in stock, then Bobbi Brown do really, really nice, I think they're called Pot Rouge, really nice cream blushes that can also be used on the lips. I don't tend to use them on the lips. I find it a weird texture. They're okay, but it's not as good as lipstick. And also Stila, convertible colour. They're as old as the hills. They've been doing them for years and years and years, and they're really nice. So that's the face done. And then eyes, I'm just going to do a little bit of shadow. This is a Pixie Palette, this one. It's really good value because the shadows are huge. I have to say though, compared to my NARS palette, the payoff on the darker colours is really not comparable. But on these slightly more muted tones, they're absolutely fine. And these are the ones I tend to use the most. I mean, my NARS Voyageur palette is great and really, really pigmented. But I'm never going to get through the darker shades, not in a month of Sundays, because they're so pigmented. I could never handle using them all over the eyes because the power of them would just, the power of the shadows would just sort of run away with itself and I'd be left with crazy eyes. So just a little bit into the outer edge and the socket. They blend really nicely. They're so soft. I just think it's a pretty good buy, really. FYI, I think my favourite eyeshadow palettes in general are probably Charlotte Tilbury ones, for choice of shades and for just general quality. Like it's just always amazing. My single favourite eyeshadow palette ever in history of the world is the NARS Voyageur in Nectar. And that's probably it really, isn't it? Can't really top that. Tiny bit of dark in the corner of the eye. She's just going to create a little flick. What's that, Mr. Bear? Want to come up? Just don't claw my dress. Oh, I'm making a right pig's ear out of this today. I tell you what, I'm not doing very well with this sort of allotted work time that you have to do in lockdown because the kids aren't in school or nursery or whatever. So it's trying to find a moment and then you suddenly just have to sort of switch on and perform. And it takes me hours to normally, oh, for God's sake. Normally it takes me hours to click into a place where I want to sort of speak to the camera. Because it's quite an odd thing to do. Because you've constantly got to be thinking that there's somebody, that you're there. And it's quite a weird thing to do really, isn't it? So I'm just doing my eyebrows with a bit of eye gel. It's not eye gel, it's brow gel. See what I mean? Bit of brow gel, and then this is the new thing that I've been doing. So it's a liquid liner from Charlotte Tilbury, and it's called the Feline Flick. And it's a quick fine line pen. Now, I have never got on with these before, but I think the reason that I like this one is simply because it's brown. It is also a very good sort of fast running pen, and the ink comes out of it very smoothly and easily, which helps. But normally I think I don't like the big hard cat eye flick because it's just too stark for me. Whereas when you do it in brown, it just feels a bit softer. So I've been wearing this a lot. I'm never going to get the other eye the same. Ironically, I have to say that is the worst that I've ever done those flicks. But you get the gist. Anyway, you can't really see it all once the mascara's on, so it's fine, isn't it? Who cares? Not I. I have just ordered a replacement one of these, the Unlimited mascara from L'Oreal. That one's all dried up. Don't know what cracked. No, something's cracked. So in the meantime, I'm using the telescopic, which I also really like, but this one is slightly different in that it's less volumizing and more lengthening, I'd say. It's kind of one of those mascaras that you really see it come into its own on the second coat. So the first one just sort of helps to prime. You do get an effect from the first one. I find that when you go in over, that's when suddenly you're like, oh, okay, I get what that does now. So it's lengthening and it's separating. You don't ever get clumpy with this one. Does anyone else do their bottom lashes and instantly regret it? Or is it just me? It's like I always have to go one step further, and it's like, just leave it. I've been wearing pretty much one lipstick since I last did a makeup video, and it's this one by Terry, which in fact might have been in the last video. So on with Nudissimo, which is just a very peachy kind of lip. Just going to blend that blusher in a bit better. In fact, bear with me for 2 seconds because I'm just going to go away and just tidy everything up, okay? In case you think that I'm being shoddy, which I am. I mean, I don't know whether anyone's interested in doing their makeup at the moment, in which case this entire video is a complete waste of time. However, it's nice to perk up a bit, isn't it? I think it is. And so that's what I've been using. Really simple, as usual, but just some nice, fresh products to sort of revive a tired makeup bag. Wish there were some nice, fresh products to revive a tired old bag. Oh, I can't deal with it now that I've done that. You know when you do the lashes at the bottom and then suddenly it makes your eyes look really sort of tired? I don't know why I did that. Okay, to correct that, do you know what I do? I get a bit of medium shadow and I just take it under the lash line with a largish brush. Just to stop the top looking so heavy. So a bit bronzy, a bit fresh and blushy. All the technical terms. Have a look underneath the video for a list of the things that I've used in case you're interested in any of them. And I shall see you in the next video.